yeah, I guess because yeah, that's it's it's what I do now as a career. So I feel everything that I've done with it has been very impactful and has steered me in a direction. Every collaboration I've done, every commission I've done has allowed me to grow. Also because I never studied composition in any way. So for me, I learned on the job, and the fact that people have been so patient with me and so nice, and you know, it every collaboration was meaningful. Yeah. If it becomes popular, that's cool. I don't, you know, people need to listen to what they want to listen to. Um, I just think it would be nice if music, like I said before, this instant gratification we want from music, which isn't necessarily, you know, that's not all music. That's a way of enjoying music, a very important way that I think everybody uses that way. Everybody has a song that they like on repeat, you know. Everybody has, you know, their, some people might call it like guilty pleasure, but it's just the music that you love, like, and that you want to hear when you're on the subway or just doing stuff in your house. But then there's also music, like, you know, that you want to listen to and listen to again to understand more, that you want to sit down and close your eyes and maybe not right away feel something, but think a little bit and go, ooh, what's this? And if more people want to do that, then I think they should. Why not?
Yeah, yeah. It's wonderful to have music and art for entertainment, but it doesn't need to be only that.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's, you know, I sometimes think we do think of, how do you call that? Like paintings and sculptures. If that is very abstract, we take it. It's like, oh, I don't really understand it, but okay, let's have a look. And I feel with music, it seems to be harder for people, and maybe it's because it's not right away coming to you. Like a painting, you can see a painting in 1 second. You can also decide to be there for weeks. But with music, if the piece is 10 minutes long, you will have to put in those 10 minutes, and it seems that people don't always want to do that. Which, you know, again, it's up to them. If they don't want to do that, then don't. You might be missing out. Maybe not. Maybe it's not for you. Yeah. And also I think what people sometimes underestimate is the beautiful acoustics you get to enjoy. You know what I mean? We do go to like the movies still quite a bit, where you enjoy the big screen and also the loudness mostly, but also feeling the bass. But yeah, I think people might underestimate like how nice it just is to have instruments in front of you and to feel and to hear that full sound, which I'm sure everybody who would visit concerts and then had to stay home because of COVID, the moment you heard instruments again live in front of you, it was like, oh, wow. I thought that was amazing. That's also a reason to just sit and just listen to the sounds and the vibrations and be a little bit. Yeah.
You realize how good and how refreshing it is once the concert is over, right? And you're like,
yeah, wow, yeah. Yeah, oh,
it's good.
The wow feeling. Yeah, yeah. So I studied jazz vocals,
Okay.
but I never studied composition. So my knowledge of especially notation was really, really limited. Really limited. You know, basic notation, really basic, and mostly within the realm of jazz instrumentation. So for me, I had to learn a lot. I don't think you necessarily have to be able to notate to do new music, but it would really help if you can. Not necessarily only so, you know, for the musicians, but also as a way to put your ideas on paper in an easier way. Of course, you could describe the sound you want. You could. And you can get pretty far with that, but it leaves a lot of room for interpretation still. And if that's what you want, that's great. But if you want to be more precise, if you want a part very specifically, musical notation is very useful. Do you need to have gone to university for that? No, you can find a mentor. You can find someone to teach you. That's the way I did it. I've learned everything through people who, either the musicians, but also mentors. I worked extensively with James Rolfe for a piece that I did because I just wanted to make sure I was doing the right things. And in musical notation, there are things that I just really don't know because no one ever showed me. So when then someone shows you something, you're like, oh, whoa, oh, this is so much easier than what I've been doing. And I do think that helps. But I don't want to say that you have to have, gone and done extensive studying. Because then, first of all, I would be talking against myself. I would be saying that what I do is not possible, and it's possible because I'm doing it. Plus, I wouldn't want people who, maybe don't know how to notate to be deterred from this. You can learn little things. You don't need to go to university. You don't have to. You do need some knowledge, but you can get that knowledge. And I also believe it's good to keep in mind that people are good and will help you. I've never had anyone say to me like, oh, you need to figure it out yourself. I've only had people saying, let me show you. Let me show you what's possible. This is not possible. This you can write better like that. I think it's just good to keep things really open so that everybody can if they want to. Hostages. Diligent work and no judgment. That's my the best advice I've ever gotten, and it works for everything in life. But especially if you're doing creative work that is sometimes really tough because you don't get paid a lot, or you don't get the opportunities, and you have to keep going and keep going, just to keep working on it, and don't get mad at yourself or at others. Just do the work. Just put in the work, and don't judge. And this was my teacher, Shannon Gunn, at Humber College, who unfortunately passed away. But that piece of advice, that just still helps me with everything. Diligent work, no judgment. For example, when you don't get a grant, I didn't get a grant the other day, then I can choose to get really angry at myself, at other people who do get it, or at the establishment, which it's always good to be angry at the establishment, but it doesn't always help you. But it's just best to just go, okay, you just keep at it, go again, no judgment. You're not, it's not bad what you're doing, just put in the work, see, does it need to be altered somehow, does it need to be reworded somehow, but just do it. And that's also, I guess, the advice that I give to others, always, because I just think it really, I don't know, it really helps you. Just keep going, and just don't get mad, don't judge, just put in the work.
Body so static.
Well, sometimes I think it's good to and I do say this sometimes when people think they can't do something, or when people really look at others, which I do sometimes too, when I have a bad day, weak moment, too many no's in a row, and it's easy to look at others and go, but sometimes I think about like horses in a parade, and they wear these like blinders, so they're just focusing on their path. They don't need to see what's going on there. So sometimes I go, just be a horse in a parade. Just put the blinders on. Your path is there. Just go. Just keep going. Don't look if it's gonna not make you happy. If it will, confuse you and make you upset and divert you from the route you want to take, then just put the blinders on.
That's so true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man. Alex and I were just talking about this very thing yesterday. And again, how today it's so easy for us to compare ourselves to people.
Yes.
You know, and again, that diverts you from your path.
It
right?
does.
Yeah.
You know, and of course, like, if looking around makes you feel inspired, but you know, if you're that horse in the parade and there's just too much and it will not make you feel better, then just put on the blinders. Just put on the blinders. It's okay, you know?
It's okay.
Yeah.
Craving release.
Yeah, I guess I could talk about, I don't know what I like musically. I just like dramatic. I think my music is pretty dramatic. And I like rhythms. I like big and very small. I like voice. I like the human voice. I like improvisation. I think that's very big in my music. I will always be busy with sort of intertwining a degree of improvisation with something I've strictly notated, and how can I keep changing this, and how can I make this always kind of different. And for me, that's really important. I love hearing what happens with those improvised parts, because every performance will be different because of it, but every performance has anchors where things are the same, but I never know what's going to happen in between, and I like that. It makes me part of the audience too, because I'm like, oh, I don't know what's going to happen, and that's very, very exciting for me. And I like giving that power to the musician. Not that every musician wants it. Some musicians don't want it, and that's also fine. But I do try to, even giving maybe very narrow parts, narrow choices, and that can also work. And I think that is also something I'm always working on. How can I make this improvised section work for every musician who would want to perform it? People who might be super comfortable improvising and people who are not at all. How can I make this work for them? And I think that's something I will keep doing. And I remember someone once asking me, will you ever write something that is composed start to finish with no improvisation? And I don't think it will ever happen.
Well, that's bold.
Yeah.
That's courageous. Yeah.
Is it?
I think so.
It's just,
because it's you.
It's me, yeah. I just want to say just me. That's just how I do it.